If you've been looking for a new construction home in St. Augustine and you found that you're actually kind of disappointed with the options that are available, the lot sizes that are available here in St. Augustine, well, today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through one of my favorite floor plans that I've seen across all of new construction. But we're also going to take a look at the community of Sabal Estates. But before that, before we get to the prices, before we get to the lot sizes, I want to show you the inside of this house, show you some of my favorite things about it. Let's go check it out. So one of the things that I really like about this neighborhood here and also these houses here is that they're all to be built. So you do have the option to change a lot of things in these houses, and one of them is going to be the ceiling height. So in this model, they have a 9-foot ceiling throughout the entire house, and that is an option you can choose at the design center. And this makes this house feel a lot more grand. When you first come into this walkway, you can kind of see, and especially because you do the 9-foot ceilings, you also get the 8-foot slider. You also get the 8-foot exterior door to the front door. That's something that it's a small tweak, but once you see the difference between an 8-foot door and 8-foot slider and how much natural light this thing actually lets in, it is a world of difference, because that you go to a 6.5-foot slider and it just doesn't hit as well. It doesn't look as great. But this is the 2148 plan by KB Homes, and I'm going to take you through some of the fun things about it. So let's go over here. So this kitchen, this is actually a floor plan my wife and I were looking at buying, and we're still considering it because the value that you get here in Sabal Estates versus all the new construction in St. Johns County is amazing. It really is. Like, and you'll find out as I go through the rest of this video why I'm saying that. But this is actually their standard kitchen, right? So the countertops are actually upgraded, but the cabinets in here are standard. You can do the gourmet kitchen if you want, where you put the double ovens in on the wall. Totally dealer's choice, but in my opinion, how they configure the standard kitchen versus the gourmet is a lot better. And that comes down to just how everything's laid out. You have your pantry over here in the corner, fridge, you got your stove over there, and it is a gas community. So if you're looking for natural gas, you can find that here. You can get that hooked up here. But what I really like about it is that you have the sink right over the back window here. So if you want to add a pool, if you want to do an extended lanai, you can do that, and then you can also do dishes and watch whoever's having fun outside. But I just like it because it lets a lot more natural light in. But if you do the gourmet kitchen, it actually brings the sink over here to this island. So I wasn't a big fan of how it was set up. It also changed like where the fridge was, where the pantry was. So I think this is the ideal setup. Now, another thing that I really like about this kitchen, and this is kind of a styling thing, you know, they say the millennial gray is kind of out. I'm a millennial. I wasn't a big fan of wood. Now with this color combination, with the lighter wood, with the white countertop, I love it. I think it's fantastic. This is like right up my alley. But this is another thing, and this of course is all design. It's up to you. You may like it, you may hate it. I love it. This backsplash here, like the diamond shape, and look at that accents in the veining there. It just goes perfectly with these cabinets here. So style wise, you know, I'm not an interior decorator or anything, but I would choose those things. And side note to this, I bought this lamp all by myself. My wife didn't help me. My wife loves this lamp. It's fantastic. Definitely a great buy. You know, the interior decorator might have took some tips from me. I don't know. But this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a den. So if you work from home, if you want to change this into a 4th bedroom, you 100% can. So this is a well-appointed office as of right now. But this is a great space here, and it'd be really nice. I would do it myself. I would just put on some French doors there that actually have glass in them, so it lets more of this natural light in. I mean, you couldn't even see the room when we walked in because of that natural light. Beautiful day in here. Beautiful day here in Florida. Tripping over my words. Editor, you can leave that part in where I trip over a little bit. It's okay. But before we get to another favorite part here, we're gonna go back to the master so that you can see the master, which is a great size. The master bathroom is also really nice too, but you got to check out the closet, and the closet's something special, I'll tell you that. And I don't say that about closets, right? But the one negative I will say about this house here, only comes with 2 bathrooms, right? And the 2nd and 3rd bedroom here, they aren't huge, right? They're just 10 by 10 rooms. So they're not huge bedrooms, but the one nice thing about these rooms is that they have decent closet space. It's not just like a little hole in the wall. It's actually a walk-in closet, which is really nice. And then also you have your washer dryer right in the front here, garage door entrance right over there. This is only a 2-car garage for the model, but because of the lot sizes here, you can actually do a 3-car garage. And because it's all to be built, you can actually extend that 3-car garage, which gives you a little bit more space. And that's something that we don't have here in Florida. We got tons of storage facilities all across here. So this is the living room, dining room, and then you have the kitchen over there, which we covered. And then you have a nice lanai. The lanais are all included where it's like a 10 by 10 slab. Might be a little bit bigger than that. But pretty much everyone I've worked with here, I've helped several buyers buy a home in this neighborhood and build in this neighborhood. They've done the extended lanai, and it makes all the sense in the world. Now, let's go check out that master. Now, the master is a great size. This is going to be a king size bed over here. You have a nice big dresser here. They got a chair in the corner. You have good bit of space on either side. Look at the end tables or the side tables there. You got plenty of room here to do whatever you want. You want to do gymnastics in here? You can do it. But that's not honestly the best thing about this bathroom, or about this master bedroom setup. Let's go into the bathroom. Now, you got your toilet over here in the corner. You have a tub shower combination. Now, of course, you can design it how you'd like, but a lot of people are getting rid of the tubs nowadays and just doing a bigger shower. You can do that. You also have, and I won't show it off just yet, but you got the double sinks here. But this is the biggest thing here. Do you see this? Is this another bedroom? No, this is actually a walk-in closet. I can take, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 steps to get all the way back here. It's probably about 6 feet wide over here, and it's probably about 13 to 14 feet long. So it's a good sized space in here. Comes with the wire racks. I know a lot of people hate that, but it is what it is. Comes with the wire racks, but you don't have a lack of storage here. And the master, I know a lot of people, a lot of the wives don't like the small masters, don't like the small master closet. This one here has plenty of space for everybody. Right? You can actually, I mean, this is better than Harry Potter's room. Let's be honest. This is a huge space. And guys, I should have showed you this as a contrast earlier, but take a look at this lanai size here, right? So it's almost 3 times the size as what's standard to do the extended lanai. It's a great space, all under roof as well. So this could be super easy. If you don't want to do a pool, if you don't want to do extended paver patio, you could easily screen this in, just going from the wall to the pillar, to the pillar, to the pillar. You can easily screen this in. Probably going to cost you about $3,000 to $5,000 to get this done. And then you have a nice little spot out here. These are all also braced for fans as well. So if you want to add some fans, you can do that too. But I think the biggest play, especially with this huge backyard, and also future value, adding that pool, it is going to cost you a good bit of money. Probably cheapest pool you can find is around $60,000. You can obviously put a $300,000 pool in if you wanted to. You don't have to go too crazy, but you could easily do that here. And guys, did I mention the lot size? Can you even see me? I'm waving my hands over at the other side of the lot. These lots are humongous, and when you're talking about places in St. Johns County, you're not going to be able to find the width of the lots that you have here at the price that they're offering these homes at. These homes, at a minimum, are 85 feet wide, and they're also about 130 feet deep. That's the smallest lot size that they have here, so it's actually going to get bigger than that, which is pretty amazing. So if you find a catty corner lot, you can probably have a much deeper lot. And guys, one of the things that I mentioned earlier was the lot size of what you find here. This is not something that you're seeing throughout the majority of St. Johns County without paying a huge price tag. At least, in the northern part of the county, you're looking at $800,000 plus at a minimum for what you're going to get here. And it's going to be a lot cheaper than $800,000. You guys are going to be pretty surprised, I think. But I'm taking you over to the one story versus the one story. These are both models here. Look at this difference between the houses here. The lots are 85 feet wide at a minimum. So you can find lots that are even bigger than that. Now, they're all pretty much uniform around 85, might be slightly bigger. We're not talking like 100, 100-foot lots probably, but they're going to be about 130 foot deep too. So you have plenty of room for a pool, plenty of room for a screened in lanai if you want to do that, or maybe a paver patio or a fire pit, whatever you want to do in the backyard. You have plenty of room. But the biggest thing that you're seeing in St. Johns County now is going to be your lot size being pretty tight. This is actually probably a great representation here. See this tree? That tree is probably about, I would say about 10 feet from this building here, this house. That's about as normal. It's a little bit, maybe 12 feet. That's about as normal as the lot difference between most new construction in St. Johns County. So you can buy a $600,000, $700,000 home in the northern part of the county, and you're going to be passing sugar through your window to your neighbor because it's so close. Now, a lot of them are designed so that they draw your attention to the backyard, but a lot of them aren't that deep either. Having a 130-foot deep backyard, look at the distance between the back of the lanai here and the fence. It's humongous, guys. This is a deal. This is 100% a deal here in St. Johns County, especially if you want a pool. You want to have some outdoor space, and if you're moving to Florida, that's one of the biggest things about living here is having this type of space back here. I put, at this point, I think I'm at 4 or 5 clients, I can't remember now, in this neighborhood. And one of my clients put in a massive pool. It looks sweet. And he's backing up to the water. So he's got double water views out the back of his house. He also did the extended lanai. So it'll be about 2 to 3 times the size of that and drugged it out. He also did the 3-car garage. He also did an extended 3-car garage. So you have plenty of space on these lots to do whatever you want. Now, it's a big bonus if you get next to a 2-story house, right? Because with the 1-stories, their square footage is wide and deep, right? Because all the square footage is on one level. Whereas if you have a 2-story, they obviously split the square footage between both stories. So you have a lot more space with a 2-story in the backyard. Look at the distance there. Huge, guys. It's a huge, I'll walk over here just so you can kind of see. You gain an extra like 20 feet with the 2-story, but that's not for everybody. You know, the 2-stories aren't for everybody. It's not I'm not a big 2-story guy in Florida. I like 2-story homes up north. In Florida, I like a 1-story home. So I'm standing about in line with that lanai down there. So I'm the very back of the lanai, and look how much space we got between here and the house. Pretty sweet. So it is humongous, guys. This is the biggest deal here, right? The square footage of the house, you can find KB. They're building all over. D.R. Horton, Lennar, Pulte, Dreamfinders. They're building all over St. Johns County, but none of them have lot sizes like this. So I wanted to walk in the 2-story real quick because I talked to you about doing a gourmet kitchen. Now, of course, this is a different floor plan, so it'll be a slightly different layout. But just so you can see what I mean by a gourmet kitchen, I wanted to run in here. So you see they have the double oven in the wall. They have the cooktop right there. So that's really going to be the main difference in the gourmet. They also moved the sink over to the center island. So that's going to be the main difference of what you're seeing is going to be the ovens in the wall, right? Versus having the freestanding oven still cooktop combo. And guys, I should also mention, I do have a bunch of neighborhood tours as well. Maybe this neighborhood's not right for you. Maybe you're looking for something northern in the county. Maybe you're looking for something a little bit closer to St. Augustine. I have a bunch of neighborhood tours. I have a neighborhood tab playlist up here. You can check them all out. Go check them out. See if there's something right for you there. But I have new neighborhood tours coming out every single week, so you want to check them out. And guys, what I want to do is drive around the neighborhood a little bit. I also want to show you the amenity center. So let's go over there and just take a quick look and let's take a walk around. Guys, so I'm here at the Riverview Club, which is the amenity center for St. Augustine Shores. So this is for that bigger master plan community. As you can see, beautiful canopy tree area. The club itself is right back over there. In the distance, you also have the Conquistador condos, which are actually really sweet. They're right on the intercoastal and they're pretty affordable. A lot of them do need some updating, but you know, we're talking about living on the intercoastal or at least having intercoastal views. I think it's a great, great value. But I'm gonna walk out here. I wanna show you the Riverview Club. I wanna show you the dock here. So I wanna take a walk back here. I wanna show you the pier over here that you could fish off of. They also have a little wildflower garden here too, which is really nice. This is all shaded. It's nice and cool under here right now. But I also want to show you the tot lot, and I also want to show you the pool, which they just redid this club a couple years ago. So it's all pretty new. So you can see here, they kind of have a little wildflower garden, parked right over here, right off of the Intercoastal, which is right back here. So I just really like this neighborhood, and for the money that you're paying, even if you're not looking at Sabal Estates, you can get a nice little house here in the shores for a really, like I said, the prices here are somewhere between 250 and 500. The median sale price in the shores, I think, is $311,000. So extremely affordable, especially when the median sale price in St. Johns County is $500,000. So definitely find some affordability here, especially if you're not looking to pay that huge HOA CDD fee. But I'll show you, they have a lock on this gate, so we can't go all the way out, but I at least want to get you over to the Intercoastal, take a look at it. We're hitting the dock right now. Got a nice breeze off the Intercoastal too, which is great. You got your gate there. Looks like we got a jet ski out there. So pretty beautiful, guys. So right now we are in the neighborhood of Sabal Estates. It's located within a larger master plan neighborhood called St. Augustine Shores. So this is kind of like a subdivision within a subdivision. Now, in terms of St. Johns County, if we're talking about how far we are to St. Augustine, like the downtown historical area, we're about a 15-minute to 20-minute drive, depending on the traffic, just south of US 1. So it's really easy to get around here because you're right off of US 1. So the north and south throughout the entire eastern seaboard, but especially through St. Johns County. So if you need to go to 95, you just go south on US 1 to 206, pop right on over there, or you can go north to 207 and hop on 95 that way. We're also about 15 minutes from my favorite beach, which is Crescent Beach. So it's a little further south of St. Augustine Beach, if you're familiar with that beach and the pier over there, and kind of like the restaurants and the entertainment in that section of St. Augustine. Crescent Beach is a lot more relaxed. You can drive on the beach in St. Augustine Beach, but in this area here, that's where I go because you have a lot more elbow room between you and your neighbors. So they have 4x4 driving down there. So if you have a 4x4 vehicle, you can run down to St. Augustine Beach. You can get a yearly pass for $50, or you can go down to Crescent Beach, which is, like I said, my favorite one. That's going to be about 15 minutes from here. So to get right onto the beach, it's going to be pretty easy, and it only costs you about $50 to go on for the entire year. God forbid, if you do have to go to the hospital, Flagler Health Plus is only a 15-minute drive up the road. So it's really not that far. That was actually just taken over by UF, which is University of Florida. So now it's UF Health. Flagler Health. It's a little longer of a name, but all the locals here know it as Flagler. So like I said before, I've helped a couple of families move into this neighborhood, and to them, the deal was obvious because of the lot size here. Like I said earlier, you get 85 feet wide lots. So that allows you to put a 3-car garage in, but it also allows you to have a little bit more privacy than what 95% of the new construction in St. Johns County is offering. But the best part about it is that the price here is going to be so much more affordable than what you find in the northern part of St. Johns County. Pretty much all my people went with this floor plan, or another floor plan that they have is about 2,300 square feet, and they were paying somewhere between $500,000 and $550,000. Now, of course, the base price of the home is going to be a lot lower than that when you're looking online, but you also need to think about the lot, the cost of the lot, how much that's going to cost. You also need to think about the upgrades. Most people put about 10 to 15% of their purchase price back into the house into upgrades. So if you want to do a nice countertop, you want to do beautiful backsplash, that's something that's going to be additional onto that base floor plan price. In total, in Sabal Estates, they have 269 homes, but they've already built through a good bit of that. I guess they're about 180 homes deep. They have 80 lots left to build on, and that's probably going to take them about a year and a half to be completely sold out. And the normal build time here is going to be somewhere between 4 and 6 months. And at one point, they did used to offer spec homes here, which means that like the builder designed the house, they picked the floor plan, they picked the upgrades, and then they just built it and said, hey, who wants it? But with this community here, what they found is that most people want to build because they can get everything that they're looking for and design it themselves. So they've gone to all to-be-built models, right? If you want a house here, you got to make a plan. It's going to take you at least 6 months to build a house here. Now, of course, you can reach out to me and we can meet with the sales rep here. His name's Jacob. I've done a deal with him in the past. He's a great guy. We can meet with him and we can go through all your options to get a price list together. But if you're in the early stages and you're still trying to figure out if this is going to work for you, if you can kind of tweak the floor plan that you're wanting to do, KB does have a great website, which I'll link above, which you can go ahead and just check, and you can make you can see the floor plan as like an aerial view, and then you can make changes to that floor plan. So if you want to add the third car garage, you want to add the extension to the third car garage, you want to add the extended lanai, you want to make changes to the house inside, outside of the design center where you add the countertops backsplash, you can do that and it'll show you what it'll look like on the floor plan. And guys, another really great thing about this neighborhood comes down to the HOA, right? If you're looking at any other new construction here in the area, you're gonna find HOAs, CDDs, and they're gonna cost you somewhere between $2,500 to $4,000 a year, in addition to your mortgage payment and your taxes and your insurance. So that bill can really quickly pile up. But because this is a subdivision within a subdivision, it's a part of an older neighborhood called St. Augustine Shores, which for all purposes has an extremely and probably one of the most relaxed HOAs that I've seen in my entire real estate career in general, right? For the majority of St. Augustine Shores, you're looking at a price range of somewhere between $250,000 to $500,000. So this new section here, we're looking at somewhere between $500,000 and $550,000. So we are towards the higher end of what you're going to find in the shores, but the majority of those houses in there pay $24 a month for their HOA, and that's it. There's no other payment. Here in Sabal Estates, you pay $34 a month. So it's a little bit more expensive, but it's not going to break the bank. I mean, you can go out to lunch, for $34 for one person and go crazy. But another great thing about this neighborhood is that they do have amenities within the neighborhood. They also have a public golf course within the neighborhood, which is great. St. Augustine Shores, it's not the fanciest golf course in the world, but it gets the job done. They also have disc golf. They also have soccer fields and baseball fields and just walking paths all throughout the shores that are really nice, honestly. In some parts of the shores, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack from this from New Yorkers, but some parts of the shores to me feel like a Prospect Park or a Central Park. Like it's really beautiful in some aspects. They also have Canopy Shores Park, which actually has an outdoor workout section. And then, this is another great thing, they have an additional amenity center, which is optional. You don't have to pay for it if you don't want to. So if you're coming here and you're like, you know what, for the first year I'll get it, see if I use it, you don't have to pay for it the following year. And it's only $350 a year for a family of four. So when you're looking at the expenses of having these big amenities, if you're going to use them or not, you don't have those options in any other neighborhoods where you're saying, you know what, I don't use any of the amenities, I don't want to pay into it. Too bad, you bought a house in that neighborhood, you got to pay into it. Here, it's optional, which is huge. So they have a pool, they have a little clubhouse right on the intercoastal, and they also have a fishing pier there as well, which is really nice to have access to. If you want to hop out on the intercoastal, go catch some reds maybe, you can do it right off the pier. So guys, we've talked about a lot of the pros about buying a house in this neighborhood. And I'm not bullshitting you when I say, like, I think this is one of the best buys that you can make in St. Johns County. But there are some negatives about living here, right? No place is perfect. And one of the biggest things is that we are farther south in the county. So if you do have a job in Jacksonville, your commute is going to be a little bit longer than you if in the northern part of the county. Now, you're probably going to save $200,000 on buying a house of similar size and lot size and condition, styling. But is that, that's a 45-minute to an hour drive, depending on where you're going in Jacksonville. Could be a little shorter than that, but not much. That's going to suck, right? It's not going to be fun. The other con, and you can see it right behind me, I'm not sure if you notice it or not, and this is pretty standard throughout a lot of new construction communities, but they didn't do anything here to make any adjustments. There's literally no trees, literally none. I mean, of course, there's trees in the very background, but like when you're taking a look at all these houses here, there's nothing. Yeah, maybe you have an accent palm tree in the front, you can see down there, but there's no shade, there's no cover. It doesn't feel mature. And that's one of the things that across all new construction communities kind of sucks, right? Because when you move into a neighborhood, part of that neighborhood feel is having that tree cover. It makes it feel older, it makes it feel just nicer in general, and it's also a lot cooler when you have that tree cover. Here you don't have that, and that probably won't happen by the builder. The builder's probably not going to do it here, right? So it's going to have to wait until the homeowners association is switched over to the actual homeowners. As of right now, the builder controls it. And they say, hey, you know what? We're going to raise our HOA by $10. We're going to put some trees in this place. But even then, that's going to be 2 years from now until it gets switched over. But then it's probably going to take it 10 years to grow all these trees, right? So There are a lot of pros about living here. I think it's one of the best buys you can make in St. Johns County, but that is definitely one of the biggest ones. But it's not really it's not unique. You look at any new construction neighborhood in St. Johns County, all of them are going to clear cut the trees. But that's one of the things, is the maturity of the neighborhood. Within Sabal Estates, you won't find those trees. But if you just go over to the shores, just on the other side of that gate there, you're going to find beautiful walking paths. You're going to find trees. You're going to find some shade. And it's going to feel more like a mature neighborhood. So guys, this is one of the best deals in St. Johns County. If you like this video, I have a ton of other neighborhood tours, also informational videos about living here in St. Augustine, about living in St. Johns County, and just the pros and cons of all of it. So make sure you check out those videos at the end of this video. They're going to throw up a whole bunch of different options for you, ones that might be best for you. So check them out.